This is an accounting video for chapter 13-3. I want to direct your attention to our main accounting webpage. As we get on to 13.3, I want to just remind ourselves where we've come from. In chapter 12, we did preparing payroll records. So we identified how many hours people were working, how much they were going to be paid, what their taxes were, what their deductions were, and then we found out what their net pay was, how much money they were making after taxes. Then in chapter 13, we went through and started accounting for the payroll, and we're going to start reporting payroll to the federal government during this section. So in lesson 13.1, what we did was we identified how we're going to go ahead and journalize our taxes. So on a semi-monthly basis, we're going to record our salary tax expense, how much we're going to pay for our taxes. Our federal income tax and our employee income tax are the same thing, our Social Security and our Medicare. We'll also record how much we're going to pay to our employees. So we worked on journalizing that twice a month. So twice a month, we record that we pay our employees. Next thing we looked at in 13.2 was, let me get to it. We recorded what our unemployment taxes were going to be. So we took a look at how much they had paid up to that point. We took a look at how much it was going to take for them to reach that threshold of $7,000 so they don't have to pay taxes anymore. Then we looked at their net pay, and then we looked at how much they were going to have to pay in unemployment taxes. And then we recorded that. We journalized our payroll taxes. So we didn't pay these things. We just recorded what they were going to be, our payroll tax expense. Now, in chapter 13, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be reporting our taxes to the federal government. We're going to record it for the first quarter. A quarter is the first 3 months of the year. So January, February, March, we could record it for. So in this case here, we are recording our total earnings for January 31st, so the month of January. We're going to record the federal income tax withheld for our employees. We're going to withhold our employee Social Security tax withheld and our employee medical tax withheld. So I've got all of these information for the first 3 months, for the quarter. So it's our job we're going to prepare a Form 941 for concept designs for the first quarter of the current year. It gives us the address, it tells us the identification number, it tells us how many employees we have. So what we're going to do is take this information here and we're going to report that information to the federal government. It's our job as the accountants to record how much we're earning, how much we're withholding to pay for taxes, how much we're withholding to pay for Social Security for employees, how much we're withholding to pay for Medicare for the employees. So let's get started with our Form 941. This is required of accountants if they are accounting for businesses. So the first thing we've got is the employee identification number. The identification number is going to be found right here. It's going to be 70-841-8625. I'm taking that identification number from right here. It's in the instructions. You're always going to find this, whether it's the work together on your own or the applications, you'll find the identification number. Name, not your trademark. Our name is Concept Designs. Trade name, we have none. Our address is going to be, and it's found right up here, 12043, and the street is going to be Washington Street. Too many E's. And we have nothing for the suite. We have the city is going to be Napierville and IL, so that's Illinois. And then our zip code, it's going to be up above there, right there. And we've got 605 40-4158. So initially I'm able to pull all this information up top from our instructions. And we're going to report this quarter for the first quarter, because that's what it says. Reporting for the first quarter of the current year for January, February, and March. And you can take a look at that there, January, February, and March. So all this information here is able to be filled out from the instructions. There's not going to be a time where this information will be held. You'll need to have that. All right. Next thing we've got is number of employees who received wages or tips or compensation for this period. It tells us in the instructions that we have 8 employees for this period. Next thing we've got is what are the wages and tips and compensations for this period? So what we're going to do is we're going to add up all of our total earnings. We're going to add that up. And so we'll add that up here on this calculator here. So we'll start with January's. We have $11,640 and no cents plus $11,900 no cents plus 12,100. And that comes out to be 35,640. So we're recording how much wages or things we made during this month. So that's 35,640. Again, we are filling out, we're reporting to the federal government how much money we made on our Form 941. The next thing we've got is income tax withheld from wages, tips, and other compensations. So what we're going to do is we're going to add up our federal income tax or FIT withheld during this month. So we're going to add these up. So we're going to add January's, February's, and March. So 698 plus 718 plus 728 equals 2,144. And we'll record that on line 3, 2,144. Great. Okay, so the next thing we've got is we've got our, if no other wages, tips, or compensation subject to the Social Security or Medicare tax. We're not going to check that off. We're just going to move on to the next line here. So the next thing we've got is our taxable Social Security wages. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our wages. This is how much we could possibly be taxed on. So we're going to take this amount, $35,640. We have an opportunity to be taxed on that. And here's that tax rate for the Social Security wages. So we've got our Social Security wages here. We're going to go ahead and multiply this amount here times 0.124. So $35,640 times 0.124. And that equals $4,419.36. Okay. Next, we've got taxable Social Security tips. There are no tips associated with this business in concept designs. If this would be like if at a restaurant you paid for your dinner, but then you also left a tip, we have to record what the tips are going to be. And in this case here, we do not have any tips that are being withheld. These are just earnings. So we can skip 5B. Next, we need to do taxable Medicare wages and tips. So we're going to multiply that together. So we'll take our taxable wage, which was $35,640, multiply it times 0.029. So we'll do that now. So our money that we earned, $35,640 times 0.029. And we come up with $1,033.56. Great. So that takes care of 5A, 5B, and 5C. Next thing what we'll do is we're going to add columns lines 2, 5A, and columns line 2, 5B, and column line 2, 5C. So all it's asking us to do is add these up now. So it wants us to add up 5A and 5C. We have nothing in 5B, so we don't have to worry about it. So I'll take that amount, $1,033.56, plus $4,419.36. And that comes out to be $5,000. $452.92. Great. That takes care of 5D. Now let's scroll down and take a look at the next thing that we have to do. So 6A says number of qualified employees first paid exempt wages. This does not apply to us, so we'll go ahead and skip that. 6B, number of qualified employees paid exempt wages during this quarter. This does not apply to us. If these things were happening, it would leave it in the instructions, but we don't have anything here for this this section. Next thing we've got is 6C, exempt wages, tips to be paid to qualified employees for this quarter. We didn't fill anything out here, so there's nothing going to be on 6C. 6E, we've got total taxes before adjustments. So we're going to add line 3 plus 5D minus 6D equals line 6E. So we are going to take our $5,452.92